Ask the Messengers, the program that deals with substance abuse, real people telling real stories. Hosted by Pastor Lester Lewis, co-host Charlize Wilkerson and Leroy Carey. Where there is addiction, there is a chance for recovery. We're trying to help save lives on Ask the Messengers.
October is the anniversary month for the Ask the Messengers TV show, and this year is our 4th anniversary. So for the next few weeks, we invite you to celebrate with us, and to kick off this year's celebration, here's a few highlights from our very first anniversary event that was held at the historic St. Regis Hotel in Detroit.
Our street reporter, LaShawn Battle, had the opportunity to speak with some of our guests who are recovering addicts and found that their drug use started at extremely early ages, and one started at birth.
When I came home from the hospital in 1954, my mother was told to put 4 Rose whiskey in my formula. So from the age of 0 to 4, every bottle I ever had, I had alcohol in it. So then I stopped when I was weaning off the bottle, and I started back using when I was 11 years old. I smoked my first joint of marijuana.
Well, I started using when I was 9 years old. My mom, my biological mom, had just died, and it was like my world just collapsed. So, parents would have the parties, all the drinking going on, and I'm the kid down there in pajamas like you see on TV, sipping out all the cups and giving the adults drinks as well. But while they weren't looking, I was drinking more than they were, and it just continued.
I started using when I was 9 years old.
11.
And how did you get a hold to it?
Some friends in the neighborhood, they had older brothers and sisters, and I guess they were using me for a guinea pig to try some marijuana. And I smoked that first joint and was wilding out.
When I was 12 years old. At the time when I was 12, my father used to molest me. So I started drinking alcohol because I didn't know how to tell my mother.
I was 14 years old when I first smoked crack cocaine.
Well, we hear the stories. At first, it was fun. Alcohol is a drug. I started drinking young. My dad owned a beer and wine store, so we drank what was in the store. I smoked weed. Then I started using powder cocaine, mescaline, and all different kinds of drugs going through high school. It was just something to do, trying to get in where I fit in.
18.
I started smoking crack cocaine approximately around the age of 21.
Our panel was staffed with several experts in the recovery field, along with our 2 co-hosts. The panel discussion was led by our host, Pastor Lester Lewis. Co-host Charlize Wilkerson told of her struggles with drug addiction and what the recovery community meant to her.
I got one good job, I got one home group, and I got one sponsor, and I got an array of recovering addicts and people who throw me and people who got my back, and that's what recovery means to me.
Dr. Trent told us how he had graduated from med school and started his practice before ever realizing that recovery from addiction was possible.
I come from a family that had a lot of addiction in the family. And for almost all my life, when I encountered somebody who had an addiction, I was like, okay, well, that's that. Once you get addiction in my family, there were no recovering people in my family. There were people who went to prison and died. That's all that I had. But then, I was really kind of blessed to get involved through my work in psychology with people in recovery, and I discovered that people do recover, and people can recover. And, I think there's a lot of people like me out there that don't know that is possible, and to me it's a miracle, and I really have been blessed to work in this field and to see the heroism of people that actually do recover.
In addition to explaining that drug addiction can become a brain disease, Dr. Iffy gave us 3 important takeaways.
There are 3 things I want everybody here to take home. 1, substance abuse or addiction is a brain disease. It's a disease. That's number 1. Number 2, we have to change the way we treat those of us in the medical profession. Things have to change. You don't call a 800 number or call your friend and tell them you need help. And you're told that, okay, come in 2 days' time. No. We must figure a way that if somebody picks up the phone and makes that decision, I need help, and I need help now. That it doesn't take more than an hour or 2 for that person to get help, because that's when they need that help. If you wait for too long, they start having withdrawal, they're in pain, they can't tolerate it. It's the feeling of sickness that makes people go back, because at that point they're no longer enjoying it. It's that I don't want to feel sick, I don't want to hurt, I don't want to throw up, I don't want to ache. Therefore, help must be provided. We have to come to a place where if somebody calls for help, within an hour or 2, they're getting professional help that they need to get to recovery. And the last thing is that there's no provision of how those of us that are treating people in addiction, how we can help caregivers, families, friends to support them, because they need to be trained, they need to be there for them. No matter how many times they fail, they need that help. If it takes 100 times, we'll do it the 100 times that it takes to get them back. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers.
Do you have an excellent driving record? Are you able to lift at least 50 pounds? Then what are you waiting for? Come drive for us. Pure Logistics USA has immediate openings for drivers to deliver Amazon packages within the metropolitan Detroit area. Apply today at purelogisticsusa.com. Pure Logistics USA is an equal opportunity employer offering excellent pay, benefits, and inclusive environment for all employees. Must be at least 21 to apply.
I'm Artesia Washington, and I'd like to welcome you to Irvine Head Injury, where restoring you to your previous level of functioning is our goal. We offer services such as physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and language pathology, aquatic therapy, massage therapy, and counseling. An automobile accident is an unfortunate event. If you feel that you or a loved one can benefit from our services, you can be reached at 248-415-2500. We look forward to hearing from you.
Ready to take that first step out of addiction into recovery? Call Safe Step today, 734-641-1141.
I made that phone call and begged for help. It was the best thing I ever did.
With Safe Step Communities, you never have to walk alone. Safe Step Communities has several programs just right for you.
It was the best thing I ever did.
Underage drinking is responsible for more than 4,300 deaths of youth annually. DWIHN, along with its provider partners, strive to educate young people on the deadly dangers of alcohol use and abuse. We teach youth about the dangers of drinking, especially when driving. If you are looking for resources to share with your loved one, give the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network a call, 24/7, 800-241-4949. Here to talk, here to help. More than 2.5 million Americans are addicted to opioids. The addiction is sometimes developed through the improper use of prescription painkillers. Using prescribed medication in ways or amounts not intended by a doctor is very dangerous. So it's important that unused prescriptions are properly disposed of. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, or for more information about prevention, treatment, and recovery services, or how to properly dispose of medication, contact the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, 24/7, 800-241-4949. Here to talk, here to help.
With many attendees in long-term recovery, Ask the Messengers asked the question, what led you to recovery?
I had been gone from home for like 40 days, and it was on Mother's Day. And I was beating up myself in an abandonment. It was an abandoned house, and my wife knew where I was at, and she pulled up. She gave me $20. And I felt so bad, and that didn't even stop me from using. And I scuffled my way out with that $20 and went and got out with it. And I felt so bad in doing that, but what really got me to come to recovery was I actually looked at myself in a full-length mirror. I happened to be taking a shower over someone's house, and I looked at myself. And I had to tell myself that this is not me. I had to do something. And I went to treatment.
And started going to meetings, AA meetings. And the place was just so welcoming. But I took it for granted because I was 18 years old, going on 19, and I really didn't understand the essence of staying clean and not drinking. I thought that once as the literature said, I thought I had a handle on it and that I was okay after a year or two. I stayed clean for like 2 years and then started drinking with friends at work again. And before I know it, I was right back smoking and drinking. And then I started popping pills.
What brought you to recovery?
The last year of recovery. I just said that I grew up in a home where both parents would sit at the table and the kids would sit around it and we would have dinner. At the end, I was working at a Coney Island, cleaning up the restaurant, and when I would get my food, which was part of my pay, I would take my food outside and sit on a rail next to a dumpster. I would not even eat in the restaurant anymore. I got so used to living like an animal. And so I was more comfortable eating my food next to a garbage can. 2 brothers died in 9 months. I found myself back in prison facing life with 2 drug-related charges. And one night I started crying because I knew that something was wrong with me and I couldn't fix it. So I asked God if he'll take the taste out of my mouth and the desire of my heart, I'll do my part.
What brought you to recovery?
The drugs stopped working.
So what brought you to recovery?
The court. Last case I caught, The judge told me, get clean or go to jail. Took me 6 more months to finally get it, but I was tired of jail. I had been in jail. I was in those 5 years, I was in jail more than I was out, so I was tired. I was done.
It was God that kept pulling me out. You know, I kept putting a question mark where he kept putting a period, and I would say I'm done, and then it only took one small thing. Either it was a happy time or a sad time, you know, to take me back to using. But since I've been in recovery, you know, and I found a new life. I did a total 360. You know, I did a lot of step work to get in touch with me and to find out what was the core of my disease, what kept me going back and forth to using. And I found that I had not dealt with the abandonment issues that I suffered as a child, watching my mother use and not know that she was using, watching her leave out in the middle of the night, and I would be awake crying, and she was going to prostitute. You know, she was actually murdered, you know, on the stroll, being picked up by someone. And I never knew until recovery, you know, is when it finally hit me what she was doing, you know. And so I just made a decision to stay on this side, you know. And since then, life has been bountiful, and not, I'm not speaking money wise, I'm speaking spirit wise. You know, just yesterday I was with a friend who's going through, and she want to know how I could be so happy even in my circumstances, you know. And I had to tell her that's only through faith and through favor, you know, that God has placed upon my life. And I just gave a testimony today in church that even in a storm, I've learned how to dance in the rain.
Stay tuned for more of Ask the Messengers.
Hi, my name is Brenda Owens. I work at Greenfield Hair Collection, and I love doing hair. I've been doing it for almost 30 years now, actually. And I do a little bit of everything. This style right here is a pin curl. This is my weekly client, Lenise, short and sassy. She just got a fresh haircut last week. The name of the salon is Greenfield Hair Collection. We're located on Greenfield between Outer Drive and Curtis. I'm on the second level. My name is Brenda. My phone number is 313-729-8194. Give me a call. I love what I do.
If you or someone you know is battling with any type of cancer, you need to read the book by Laverne Moore Slaughter, God Encounters Are Real. In her book, she tells how through prayer and faith, God healed her and set her free from stomach cancer. For more information and to get your copy, visit www.encountersarereal.net.
Underage drinking is responsible for more than 4,300 deaths of youth annually. DWIHN, along with its provider partners, strive to educate young people on the deadly dangers of alcohol use and abuse. We teach youth about the dangers of drinking, especially when driving. If you are looking for resources to share with your loved one, give the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network a call, 24/7, 800-241-4949. Here to talk, here to help. More than 2.5 million Americans are addicted to opioids. The addiction is sometimes developed through the improper use of prescription painkillers. Using prescribed medication in ways or amounts not intended by a doctor is very dangerous. So it's important that unused prescriptions are properly disposed of. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, or for more information about prevention, treatment, and recovery services, or how to properly dispose of medication, contact the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Network, 24/7, 800-241-4949. Here to talk, here to help.
Ready to take that first step out of addiction into recovery? Call Safe Step today. 734-641-1141.
I made that phone call and begged for help. It was the best thing I ever did.
With Safe Step Communities, you never have to walk alone. Safe Step Communities has several programs just right for you.
It was the best thing I ever did.
Do you have an excellent driving record? Are you able to lift at least 50 pounds? Then what are you waiting for? Come drive for us. Pure Logistics USA has immediate openings for drivers to deliver Amazon packages within the metropolitan Detroit area. Apply today at purelogisticsusa.com. Cure Logistics USA is an equal opportunity employer offering excellent pay, benefits, and inclusive environment for all employees. Must be at least 21 to apply.
Andre Johnson, now with 29 years clean, is president and CEO of the Detroit Recovery Project. He shared their mission and their goals and gave us some insight on the long-term recovery process.
Ultimately, it's about helping people sustain long-term recovery and access recovery. And since we've started, the organization really just blossomed. And it blossomed in the city, it blossomed because of the City of Detroit Recovery Community. I mean, as I look out here, I can guarantee you that at least 30, 40 people sitting in this room have been in long-term recovery for 20 years or better. And that means a lot. That means that we're now responsible mothers, fathers, and spouses, and business owners, and taxpayers.
Somebody said grandfathers too, don't understand.
I'm too young to be a grandfather, but I am a person in long-term recovery. And what that means is I haven't used any drugs and alcohol in over 29 years.
Artesia Washington, who operates the Irvine Brain Injury Center, told of the difficulties of dealing with auto accident victims who suffered a brain injury, a large percentage of whom she said had drugs or alcohol in their systems at the time of their accidents.
But the brain injury is chemical imbalances. You know, and it really goes undiagnosed. All of your body functionings are off. So how do you expect to recover just from the brain injury when everything else is off? And like Dr. Ritchie talked about, it's a brain disease. All these things are going on. I need help. I'm here for help. I'm here for support. I'm in the fight with you guys. So, I mean, that's where I am. That's what's going on.
Our co-host, Leroy Carey, who was also a recovering addict with 27 years clean, explained how the 12-step program helped him remain clean all those years.
Now, the 12-step program is simply a set of principles that's written so you can follow them in your daily life. It's like going to find a treasure. You gotta have a map. And the 12 steps is the map. Now, if you follow the map, you're probably gonna find a treasure. Those that don't follow the map will probably fall to the wayside. Just because you fall don't mean you fail. Because if you fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Now, those who understand that will understand that there are no such thing as a failure in recovery. Don't be afraid to get into a 12-step program. 12-step programs are designed for anything that you have obsession and compulsion with. If you gamble too much, we got 12 steps for that. If you eat too much, we got 12 steps for that. If you have too much sex, we got 12 steps for that. So, the 12-step program is just a set of principles that you need to follow in your daily life. And what it will change your life.
Long-term recovery has saved a countless number of lives and has helped many people to turn their lives around. Here are some of the answers we received when LaShawn asked the question, what keeps you in recovery?
Knowing that I can save somebody else's life. That is what keeps me in recovery. The point knowing that you can't keep what you have without giving it away. So to help another person not have to go through the dilemmas or the trials that I went through, that helps keeps me clean. And knowing that someone lost their life for me to come to life, I respect that more than anything. So that also keeps me clean, because when I celebrate my clean time, I also celebrate her death.
Oh my God, what keep me in recovery? My newfound friends, the life that I'm living now. I'm a minister at my church. I started a support group at my church called Finally Free. Those who are set free are free indeed. Helping other people, doing other, this is going back where I came from, and strengthening people and giving them hope.
What keeps you in recovery? What keeps me in recovery is my kids again, and the people I see around me. Is no greater joy than seeing somebody celebrate being clean, and knowing that I can get through anything, and I don't have to use. It's just worth it. You know why? You know I don't know. I can't tell you why I did it, but I'm glad I'm not doing it no more. What keep you in recovery?
The memory of living in hell, and how, when I just told you how I was raised and how I became used to an abnormal way of living where I would rather eat next to a garbage can than at a table which I had just cleaned for the customers to eat at. I wouldn't sit there. I felt too uncomfortable, and I had got too comfortable living in the alley like a rat, like an animal. The memory of that is enough to keep me in recovery for the rest of my life.
What keeps me in recovery is I don't want to die. That's what I don't want to die, and life is wonderful. Why would I trade this, what I have now, for that ever again?
What keep you in recovery?
I love the fact that my children love to be around me. The freedom from active addiction has given me an opportunity to realize my dreams.
Won't you help us to do exactly what our motto is, and that is to help save lives? Won't you send a generous donation to the information there on the screen? We would love to have you as part of our partnership to help save lives. You may not be able to go out in the street, you may not be able to come here to the show, but you can send your donation that helps us save lives.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.